Dead Space. The game begins with our Department of Diversity approved crew of Hammond the Black Guy, a woman, Asian, Goon, and our hero Isaac Clarke as they journey through space on a mission to repair and inspect a vessel we've mysteriously lost contact with. Coincidentally, this is also the vessel our significant other, Nicole, is working on. This is our motivation. We fix pipes, then lay pipe. But nothing in life comes easy. You see, this ship isn't simply a ship, it's a haunted ship. And those nameless goons we hired, they're dead now. Killed by walking mounds of reanimated flesh. And that's not all. Turns out, it's infectious and spreads like a furry in a petting zoo. That's right, USG Ishimura may sound Japanese, but it was actually made in China. This new species of disease-ridden corpse, we call them necromorphs, and this ship is chock full of them. So now, our mission is simple. Coordinate with Hammond and the woman, repair the ship, survive the plague, purge the infected, and sow your seeds waist deep in the blonde nurse. The story of Dead Space is told through multiple perspectives. We have the main story, told through Isaac and his experiences aboard the Ishimura. Also, the constant back and forth calls with Hammond and the woman which flesh out their actions and give us some basic insight into what's happening around us. Hey bro, you fixed the ship yet? Nah man, still working on it. How are things on your end? Oh dude, don't even get me started. This ship is fucked. I'm working on it though.
Excuse me, would you two quit talking to each other?
I have locked myself in this room and I'm alone and doing nothing, and these computers don't even get Wi-Fi. Hurry up and fix the ship.
Alright, talk to you later, man. But the real meat of the story comes from text, video, and audio logs that are found throughout the ship. These give us insight into the events leading up to our investigation and how the ship came to fall into this level of disrepair. Turns out, there's a cult, and this cult worships a rock that the Ishimura just so happened to dig up on its recent mining gig. Dubbed the Marker, it's red, angry, and spends its free time hypnotizing fleshy creatures and transforming them into even fleshier, bony creatures. And the crew? They've split themselves into two factions. The true believers of unitology, who have a genius master plan, gather together and commit mass suicide. I'm not joking. You see, the unitologists believe that the necromorphs are a higher state of being, and that by becoming one, your mind will enter nirvana, and your body will evolve to perfection. The other faction? Heretics, who are just a tad skeptical of the unlimited potential of being turned into the necrotic undead. Spoilers, they lose. Turns out, killing yourself is a viable strategy when you pray to a rock that hard-specced into necromancy.
I possess the Necronomicon. I've crushed a pathetic army. Now I'll have my vengeance.
So, if we want to survive, we're gonna have to know our enemies. Necromorphs come in several flavors. Our standard necromorph is kinda retarded. They like to pop out of vents and can often be seen sleeping on the job.
Listen, forget about shooting him in the body. You gotta cut off the limbs. Grab a cutter, anything like that. Cut him apart.
Isaac, be careful. Shooting them in the body didn't seem to work. Go for the limbs. Dismember them. That should do the job.
I'm not really sure what the game is trying to tell me here, but I have found through much personal research that shooting the limbs seems to deal extensive damage.
Come on, let me out.
Babies! Isaac hates babies. These little bastards like to climb on walls and shoot their tiny, malformed bones at you through their Chili's baby back tentacles. Abort them and move on. But wait, I'm gonna introduce you to part 1 of our new short series, Fun Things You Can Do with Dead Babies. That sound, by the way, it never stops. It follows you. It haunts you. the sound of meat slapping against each other like two turkeys on a ham Thanksgiving, or that one night in 3rd grade when you were too scared to fall asleep and you accidentally walked in on mommy and daddy play wrestling. Fun fact, because of the way the physics work, I believe you can actually do this with any necromorph corpse. Some of which lead to pretty interesting situations, such as this. Ancient Chinese proverb, first you eat the bat, then the bat eats you. This is how necromorphs reproduce. But wait, this one is different. Here we have an alternate necromorph. Now, a lesser mind lacking in tact and cultural awareness may call it a negromorph. That's Espanol for black morph. But as a politically correct hero to the oppressed, I check my privilege at the door. These African Ishimuran necromorphs possess enhanced physical attributes, obviously. They hit harder, have more health, run faster, and are often seen smoking black and milds outside of 7-Elevens. This big guy is a brute. Legends tell of a man so massively jacked that upon his death, his arms actually gained their own sentience and reanimated his body. But enough about Harold. This walking, creeping mass of pectorals is, unsurprisingly, weak to leg day. The general strategy is to slow him with stasis, then run around his behind and... But if you're an idiot, like I am, we can wear this dunce cap together and try to see what happens if you can shoot his arm off. He vomits up. What is that? Is that corn? It's kind of meaty. I think it's a protein? Gross. Then, we have this absolute unit. The Master Race. The biggest dick in 10 locker rooms. Cut his limbs off? He'll regrow them out of sheer anger while staring into your eyes just to watch the hope fade slowly into the empty void that once was your heart. Look at this absolute Chad. Look at how he walks, back straight, shoulders up, arms at the ready. And yes, ladies, he's single. These are just a few of the many enemies. I haven't even gotten to the G Fuel gamers or the Tinder girls yet. But to face these beefy foes, you're gonna need an even beefier arsenal. Dead Space is one of the few games which forgoes the standard play zombie game, get shotgun model of game design. Instead, we play as an engineer, and engineers are big brains. All of the weapons in Dead Space are based on future tech engineering tools for deep space mining rigs. Each weapon also has an alternate firing method for added versatility. You have a standard plasma cutter. It shoots up-down, it shoots left-right. It's pretty damn good. You have a slightly bigger plasma cutter, and I'm not sure why, but this tool can also fire landmines. It's also pretty damn good. Standard military-grade assault rifle. Now, I know what you're thinking. Aren't all the weapons in this game supposed to be based on mining tools? How does an assault rifle that is terrible at cutting limbs off come into play? Well, I'll tell you. Because this assault rifle can do this. Throw it in the trash and move on. My father once told me, don't play with power tools or you'll cut your eye off. I responded, please don't talk about power tools while you're wearing a dress. This is the Ripper, a super high speed, high power buzzsaw that floats through the power of kinesis, with the alternate fire launching buzzsaws at Mach speed. In the future, we won't need health and safety regulations. Natural selection has ensured that anyone not capable of handling the tools will be destroyed by the tools. The sound design in this game is also phenomenal, from the sounds of enemies crawling in the walls, to the whispers you'll hear in the distance. The game does a great job building the tension and setting the mood. Especially this room.
It really makes me feel like I'm in space!
Overall, Dead Space is a good game. Oh hey, do you remember how, back in the 2000s, it was required by law for every video game that wanted to call itself a video game to have a turret section? I remember, and we're not going to talk about it. Recommended.